3 miles from the Battail Yard to the reverse curve on down. Not far from the town depot, Sullivan's shack was found, up on a higher ground. You could hear him every day, just walking on down the line, with his old tote sack across his back and his long hair down behind, speaking his worried mind. It's a long way from the Delta to the North Georgia hills, with a tote sack full of ginseng won't pay no traveling bill. I'm too old to ride the rails or thumb the road alone, so I guess I'll never make it back to home, my muddy water Mississippi Delta home. Winters here that get too cold, the damp that makes me ill. I can't dig no roots in the mountainside with the ground froze hard and still. Dig at the foot of the hill. But next summer things turn right, companies will pay high, and I'll make enough money to pay my bills, and I'll bid these mountains goodbye. Then he said with a sigh, it's a long way from the Delta to the North Georgia hill, with a tote sack full of ginseng won't pay no traveling bill. I'm too old to ride the rails or thumb the road alone, so I guess I'll never make it back to home, my muddy water Mississippi Delta home, my muddy water Mississippi Delta home.
What's up everybody, Brandon Johnson here again, and thanks for joining me. Today we're taking a look at the classic old-time tune, Ginseng Sullivan. And this is one of my all-time favorite songs by one of my all-time favorite artists, Norman Blake. And for this lesson, I wanted to specifically cover the chords and the rhythm for Ginseng Sullivan. And I have a lesson for the solo break that I played in the intro as well, so I'll link to that here. But for this lesson, I really wanted to take a deep dive into the chord structure for this song, and specifically bluegrass rhythm, kind of as a concept on its own. What makes bluegrass rhythm, what makes it sound like bluegrass. And so for this version, we've got our capo on the 1st fret, and for me, that kind of just suits my voice a little bit better. There's a lot of ways that you can play this. You can play it on the 3rd fret, you can play it out of the D position or the C position. It's really up to you how you want to perform this. But for this lesson, we're going to specifically be learning the chords out of the D position in capo 1 here. And this is sort of an intermediate level lesson. There's going to be some chord voicings in here that you maybe have never played before, although I will put the chord charts up as I kind of go through the chords for this tune. So let's take a look at the chords for the A part, or the verse, for Ginseng Sullivan. So those are the chords for the verse for Ginseng Sullivan. Of course, that repeats twice. You're going to play that whole section twice. And so the first chord here is obviously going to be just an open D chord, which most people know. And then we're going to move to the G chord here. Again, pretty simple. Back to the D chord. And then here we're going to play a little bit of a passing chord, or a substitution, and it's going to be this chord. So you can see that chord there. It's going to be 2nd fret A, open D, 2nd fret G, and then 3rd fret B. It's a really cool kind of sustained chord voicing. And that's going to move us into this bar chord shape here. We're going to be playing that on the 2nd fret low E. We're barring with our index finger here. And then we're going to play that 4th fret A, 4th fret D, and then we're going to bar the rest of the chord under that. So Let's play the chords now for the verse all the way through to the metronome, and then we'll talk about kind of some of the specific bluegrass strumming concepts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's the full chord progression for the verse of Ginseng Sullivan. And now that we know what chord shapes we're using and what the structure is, we can talk about kind of some of the bluegrass guitar concepts that I'm playing there, the rhythm concepts. And the main one that I'm doing is what's called alternating bass. So alternating bass is where you're going to play, in this case, over a D chord. You're going to play your open D followed by the chord. And then you're going to play an open A followed by the chord. So in its most basic sense, that is alternating bass. It's just you're alternating between the root and the fifth of the chord that you're on. And basically what I'm doing is I'm playing the bass note on the downbeat, and on the and or on the offbeat, I'm playing the upper register of the chord. And that's going to give you that kind of boom chuck sound that you want in your rhythm playing, which really complements the rest of the bluegrass ensemble and the bass as well. And then we move to the G chord after that, and the G chord we can play kind of an alternating bass type feel by playing the low E string, the root note, and then the open D, which is your fifth, and we can kind of alternate between the two that way. So there it's kind of the same concept where you're playing the bass note on the downbeat, and then on the offbeat or on the and, you're playing the kind of the upper register of the chord. And then for this passing chord here, really you just kind of want to strum that. I don't really play any alternating bass over that chord, but it's a good chord to just kind of strum out and let those notes really shine for the brief moment that you hear them before you go into your F sharp minor bar chord here, or what is an F sharp minor bar chord shape. It's actually a G minor chord. And so that transition there is important between that kind of sustained passing chord and then your bar chord, because you've got all these open strings ringing out, and then you're stopping the vibration with the bar chord. So a good thing to do there is while those strings are ringing out, and you right in the middle of when you're changing to the bar chord, you want to do like a little ghost note upstroke type of a move so that you maintain that kind of boom chuck percussive sound, even though you're not really playing a chord specifically. So you see what I did there is I went from the D. So you can see there, while those open strings were ringing, I kind of threw in an upstroke, kind of a ghost note, in between there right before I go to the bar chord. It's almost an open G that you're kind of hitting on an upstroke. Then we're moving to the A chord. So you can throw in a quick alternating bass on the low E over that A chord if you want. And I'm also making use of what's called the rest stroke here. So when you play one of the alternating bass notes, either the D or the A, you can rest your pick over that kind of that pick motion that you're making. You rest your pick on the string right below it. So in this case, I'm playing an open A, and the pick is landing on the D string underneath it. And similarly here for the D string, it's landing on the G string underneath it and just sort of resting there. And then you can play a little bit of cross picking. That's going to give you a little bit of control, and it's also going to create a little bit of a kind of percussive effect. That's subtle, but it does work in terms of creating a nice rhythm presentation with your chords. So if you're interested in more lessons like this, definitely head on over to my website, brandonjohnsonguitar.com, where I have over 300 lessons on a variety of different concepts related to bluegrass guitar, including soloing, melodic playing, and rhythm playing, kind of like this video. So if you're interested in that, head on over to the website and check that out. All right, so now let's take a look at the chords and the rhythm for the chorus here, or for the B part of Ginseng Sullivan.
About 3 miles from the Battalion to the reverse curve on down. Not far from the town depot, Sullivan's shack was found up on a higher ground. You could hear him every day just walking on down.